Did you ever make a backdoor deal with God? I know it's a tough question, right? I did one time, and it was one of the most interesting things that I've ever done. It was at a time of my life where I was trying to decide if I was the person that I wanted to be around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, every year for the rest of my life. And I'm not responsible for what happens after I leave this earth. And I'm not responsible for what happened before I arrived. But I am responsible for me during what happens during this life that I'm here right now experiencing. So I made a backdoor deal with God and I said, I know that I'm not perfect and I've probably made a lot of mistakes, but while I'm here on earth, I want to make amends and I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing here on earth has purpose and that it has meaning and that I'm doing it the right way. So I want to fix all of the wrongs that I've made in this life. Oh boy, oh boy. Within a matter of about 2 weeks, my world just started unraveling, and it was in the weirdest sort of way. Okay, now I had accepted that I was gonna take responsibility for this life that I'm in right now. But what happened was this: I'd be walking through the door of a store, and somebody would like, "Oh, hello," and they would, like, open the door for me, and as I looked at the person holding the door for me, it would be a person that I got in a fight with, like, 10 years ago. And as I walked through the door, I have this moment of, you haven't seen this person in about 10 years. It would be really easy to like hurry through the door and pretend like you didn't see them. And then you're not responsible for interacting with them now. Right. But wait a second, I made a backdoor deal with God that I want to make amends with all of the scenarios in my life right now that are not adding up. And so then I had to stop and go, oh, wow, okay, I've just been put in a really weird and interesting situation. And now I have to make right on my promise, right? So then I have to stop and freeze in the doorway. And here's the stranger that has removed themselves from my life. They're not part of my life anymore because we did not leave on good terms. And I have to say something to the effect of, I haven't seen you in about 10 years and you look fantastic. And since I saw you last, I've done a little bit of growing up. And I wanted to stop and apologize for the way that we left our friendship 10 years ago. And so I'm just seeing you now for the first time in a very long time, but I would like to apologize. What's interesting about that is over the next 2 or 3 weeks, like I said, everywhere I went, and I don't have lots of enemies, but I ran into them all. I ran into them all. And I found myself having these big girl chats going like, oh, wow, look who just appeared in my life again. The phone would ring and it would be out of the blue, perfect stranger that I haven't talked to in a very long time. We didn't all leave on good terms. And they're like, hey, I was just thinking about you. And I was like, oh, yes. And I have those conversations, right? I would see the caller ID and I'm like, should I take it? Should I? Yes, I should. Okay. The reason that I bring this up is because I was able to resolve a whole bunch of the issues that I was fighting with. And I'm not unusual. Okay. I'm like everybody else. We all have aches and pains. We all have people in our lives that have come and gone. And there are people that have challenged our trust. I'm no different from everybody else, and that I've been cheated on. I've been lied to. I've been betrayed. I've been misunderstood. There are lots of things in our lives that make us who we are today. And the point of today's conversation is not to make you feel bad for the situation that you're in. And I have good news and bad news. The good news is that we can do something about it. The bad news is it's not going to be easy to do. Okay. So as I've worked with thousands of families over the last 30 years inside their homes as a professional house cleaner, I've seen a lot of families unravel because of certain things that have tripped them up along the way. Okay. So today we're going to have a conversation about trust. And this is a really important conversation that we have, and it's not going to be easy. If it were easy, everybody would do it. And if it were easy, I could say, hey, here's the fix, right? Magic fix. Boom, all your problems are solved. I can't do that. And so what I want to do today is just have a conversation that jogs some ideas in your memory. And you might say, oh, yes, I have something similar to that happening in my life right now. Or you might say that doesn't apply to me at all, but that reminds me of my sister or my cousin or a relationship that I have that two other people I know that are working through right now, right? Maybe this conversation is just so you can be a listening ear to help someone else out that might be suffering or dealing with some issues that are similar to this.